Welcome to the Personal Injury Law Show. My name's Harry Nowicki and I'm here with a colleague, Tony Carbone. We're both personal injury lawyers and we're here to talk about our passion, which is personal injury law and the evolution of common law and the importance of common law in Victoria protecting your rights. Tony, tonight we're just going to talk at large about an area of law which we're both familiar with, which is slipping and tripping in supermarkets and shopping centres. Now, historically, people, shopping centres and supermarkets have been built over the last 20 to 30 years. People, for various reasons, have slipped, tripped, fallen and injured themselves in various circumstances in supermarkets. The plaintiff, the person who's injured, usually says, I was walking, there was a slippery substance, I didn't see it, I fell, and they sue the supermarket. Well, what does the supermarket say in their defence?
Well, the supermarkets have got a duty to... It's always a reasonable duty of care, Harry. So what they say is we've got a system of cleaning, supervision, we carry it out, and we don't need to do much more than that. And you've got to watch out for where you're going too.
You've got to watch out for where you're going.
Yep.
And the supermarket says, well, look, there's a spillage on the floor. It's not our fault. Well, why blame us?
Well, look, the law, as it's evolved over the years, essentially in the early days it used to say you as a plaintiff have to show how long the substance has been on the ground.
But how can you possibly know?
It's almost impossible, Harry.
You've just entered the supermarket.
Yep.
You're doing your shopping. You slip and fall. How on earth can you tell a court how long has that substance been on the floor?
Look, it's a terrible onus on the injured party to show how long something's been on the floor. And I think that evolved in the case of Williams many years ago. But since then, there's been a lot of other decisions that have sort of thrown the onus back onto the occupier, which is the shopkeeper.
Well, let's say the supermarket just says, look, every 30 minutes, we just clean the floor, we have someone round. What's wrong with that?
Well, there's probably not much wrong with that, Harry, because it's only a reasonable duty of care. But what the occupier has to do in those circumstances is prove that that system's in place. They've got to actually produce evidence to... There's a classic case, which I'm sure you're going to refer me to.
Yeah, but Tony, let's say there's every 30 minutes they clean the floor, they're disciplined, religious, the plaintiff loses.
Well, Harry, it's a matter of commerce. You know, they're making a lot of money, they're billion-dollar industries. You've got to provide a safe environment for the consumer, and if they're carrying out their obligation to ensure that it's safe, there's no problem.
But this may surprise you, but they've brought in an even better system, which is GPS, and they give their cleaners a GPS device, and their cleaners are tracked at all times. And everyone in the cleaning company for the supermarket, the shopping centre, knows where this cleaner is at all periods of time, and they produce all this evidence to say, look, the cleaner was just wandering around and cleaning, they were doing their job.
I don't really know how that advances the occupier's situation, for the simple fact that traditionally what they've done is they've kept log books and records. So the GPS, they're going to have to keep some sort of record. There's got to be record keeping. But to say that their cleaners have been down aisles or whatever.
Is the difficulty really on a plaintiff? They're terribly hard cases to run and win?
Well, Harry, they are terribly hard to win, but believe it or not, a lot of them do win. Quite a few, as distinct from footpaths and roadways and things like that. These supermarket cases and things like that generally do get up, and a lot of them are settled out of court because of the expense in running them.
And shopping malls, shopping centres, just a similar thing?
Similar test.
But what the courts have said is that you've got to take into account the time of day, the area where it happened. If you're serving ice creams on a summer day during school holidays, there might be a higher onus than during winter when there's very few people around. So that if there's school kids around, they're running around, screaming, shouting, you know what kids are like.
Even fruit sections of supermarkets are areas that have to be better patrolled. You know, the occupier's got to make sure that they've got a better system of cleaning in a fruit area, because the prospects of something falling on the ground like grapes and things
Is-
like
is-
that.
is pretty high in
it's
and-
very,
in and
very
around a-
high.
yeah, in and around a
So the
food
duty's
area.
a bit higher in those.
But isn't the plaintiff always faced with a problem? How long were these things there for? I mean, it's
Okay.
just almost an insurmountable problem. Wouldn't you say, look, sorry, you know, the law doesn't really help you?
I disagree with that proposition for the simple fact that initially, you know, the test is on the plaintiff to show, you know, the substance has been there for a long time or, look, there can be evidence. Most people, when they shop, spend quite a bit of time in the supermarkets. I went recently and it took me an hour and a half to do what I had to do, but admittedly I didn't know where I was going. But, you know, if they're gone around these aisles and it was clean the first time round and they went round again and they've gone down, you know, that's good evidence. I've
That's
been in
some
the,
evidence.
I've been
That's
in there
some
for an
evidence.
hour.
But
Yep.
Tony, yeah, I mean, the substance might have been there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's
And
often
is
the case.
that long enough?
It
Well,
depends.
what can
It
the supermarket
depends.
do?
It depends.
The poor
Let's
old
say-
supermarket.
All right, well,
The poor old
let's-
supermarket.
just on that issue of the 5 minutes, I think there was one of the cases, I'm not sure if it was Kocis, Kocis.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long the Pinoclean was on the floor, but that lady got up. She won her case. In that case, there was evidence about the defendant having a very good system of cleaning and supervision. Inspecting. They used to have someone go around with one of these scissor mops on the hour, and they also had someone going around every half hour just to inspect the various aisles. But on the day in question, when Mrs. Kocis fell down, this particular person that was going around with his scissor mop
Called in sick.
was nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So she was
So
quite
she-
fortunate on the facts of
She
that
got
case.
up on the facts.
Yeah.
Most cases do win on facts.
Yeah. And case where someone in a shopping mall falling on a chip, you know, there was I think there was a big sort of lunchtime function, and she fell on a chip, and I think the court said, look, because there was a function and there's a heavy traffic on that day, the shopping malls should have had a lot more cleaning than was normal on a
Yeah, it was in that-
normal lunchtime.
Yeah.
On a
On
normal
that
lunchtime.
occasion, there was a big crowd. There was something going on in the centre, and the court found that because of the amount of foot traffic and the incidence of things falling on the ground, the usual number of cleaners was inadequate to clean and also to inspect and supervise and whatever else.
But I mean, look, the shopping centres strikes me, they're on the front foot. The plaintiff's got to prove their case, and invariably it's difficult for the plaintiff to prove their case.
Well, Harry, the law keeps evolving. I mean, as you said, there was a time there where plaintiff didn't have to show. That was in the Williams case where the plaintiff had to show along the, can't remember what she's tripped on, or slipped, but
The plaintiff had to positively show that
Yeah.
there was a substance there for more than 30 minutes.
for
or
something unreasonable,
For
an
an hour or
unreasonable time.
Some reasonable, yeah.
Because it's only a reasonable duty of care. It's not an absolute strict duty.
Yeah.
But, you know, then
And-
as the law's evolved, it's...
A lot of people have lost, you know, some people have won, some people have lost, you know, slipping and tripping cases in shopping malls, shopping centres, and it's an interesting area of law. It's always evolving, as the common law does, and we'll be back after the break to talk about more cases in this area of law. Thanks for watching.